Hey Pisces, I need to share something with you that just came through in this reading, and honestly, this is one of those moments where the cards are revealing something so profound about your spiritual journey. I just pulled the cards for you, and what came through is absolutely fascinating because it is speaking to something you have probably felt your entire life, but maybe never fully understood or had confirmed. Before we dive into the cards, let me just say this. If you have ever felt like there was something different about you, like you could sense things others could not, like you were somehow protected even when things should have logically fallen apart, or like certain people seemed threatened by your mere presence without you even doing anything, this reading is going to make so much sense to you. And if you have ever wondered why some people seem to come at you with an energy that feels almost supernatural in its intensity, well, we are about to get into that. So I am sitting here with your spread, and the energy coming through is talking about spiritual gifts, protection, and yes, the topic that makes some people uncomfortable, but we need to discuss it because it is real, attacks that have been aimed at you on an energetic level. But here is what is beautiful about this reading, Pisces. It is also showing me that you have had protection this whole time that you might not have even been fully aware of, and those who have tried to dim your light, they are actually the ones who are afraid, not the other way around. Let me walk you through what the cards are revealing, and I promise you, by the end of this reading, you are going to understand your spiritual power in a completely new way. The first card that came out for you is the Three of Pentacles, and this is so interesting as an opening card because the Three of Pentacles is traditionally about mastery, skill, and collaboration. But in the context of this reading, with this specific energy around spiritual gifts, it is showing me something deeper. This card is telling me that you have been building something on a spiritual level, probably for lifetimes, not just this one. There is a mastery here that did not come from a weekend workshop or reading a few books. This is soul-deep knowledge. What I am seeing with the Three of Pentacles is that your spiritual abilities are not random, and they are not accidental. You have been an apprentice in the mystery school, so to speak, whether you remember it consciously or not. This card shows three figures working on a cathedral, and that cathedral represents your spiritual architecture. You have been constructing your psychic defenses, your intuitive abilities, your connection to the divine, stone by stone, lifetime by lifetime. And here is what is crucial about this card in your reading. This work has been witnessed. The universe sees what you have built. Your guides see it. And yes, Pisces, people in the physical realm sense it too, even if they cannot articulate what they are picking up on. The Three of Pentacles is also telling me about the quality of your gifts. These are not surface-level abilities. This is not about reading a horoscope or having a lucky guess. This card represents craftsmanship, which means your intuitive and spiritual gifts have been honed and refined. You might be a natural empath who does not just feel people's emotions, but understands the root causes behind them. You might have precognitive dreams that are oddly specific. You might be able to walk into a room and immediately sense the energetic history of what happened there. You might have a gift for healing, either energetically or through your words and presence. The Three of Pentacles says whatever your specific gifts are, they are real and they are developed. Now here is where it gets interesting in terms of the attacks you have experienced. The Three of Pentacles shows collaboration, but it also shows hierarchy and structure. In medieval times, the building of a cathedral was serious business, and not everyone was allowed to participate. There were secrets, knowledge that was guarded, and yes, there was also jealousy and competition. Some people wanted access to that knowledge and that power, and when they could not have it, they tried to tear down what others were building. Does this resonate with your experience, Pisces? Have there been people in your life who seemed obsessed with gaining access to you, your energy, your gifts, and when they realized they could not possess or control what you have, they tried to destroy it instead? The Three of Pentacles is also showing me that your gifts involve discernment. You can see through illusions, Pisces. You can spot a fake from a mile away. You know when someone is wearing a mask, when their words do not match their energy, when there is a hidden agenda. And this is threatening to people who operate in deception. The cathedral being built in this card has a foundation, and your spiritual foundation is solid because it is built on truth. People who operate in lies and manipulation cannot stand on that foundation, and they know it. So instead, they try to attack it, undermine it, make you doubt it. But here's what the Three of Pentacles is also telling me, and this is beautiful: you have not been building alone. Notice in the card there are three figures. You have spiritual support, guides, ancestors, angels, whatever you want to call them. They have been part of this construction process. So when attacks have come at you, you have not been defending yourself alone. Your spiritual team has been right there with you, reinforcing the walls, blessing the foundation, keeping the structure intact. This is why things that should have destroyed you did not. This is why people who came at you with real malicious intent somehow ended up worse off than before, while you kept standing. The Three of Pentacles is showing me that you are protected by the very work you have done on yourself spiritually. I also want to point out something specific about this card in relation to witchcraft or energetic attacks. The Three of Pentacles represents skilled work, which means any spiritual practice aimed at you has to contend with your own spiritual skill level. And here's the thing about real spiritual warfare: it is not just about who casts what spell or who has more power. It is about integrity. It is about whether your spiritual foundation is solid. Someone can throw all the negative energy in the world at you, but if your foundation is built on truth, love, and genuine spiritual development, like the Three of Pentacles indicates, those attacks do not land the way the sender intended. They bounce back, they dissipate, or they actually end up revealing the attacker's own weaknesses. So the Three of Pentacles is confirming for you, yes, you have spiritual gifts, and yes, they are significant enough that others have noticed and felt threatened. But it is also confirming that you have been prepared for this. Your spiritual development has not been random. You have been building your cathedral, and it has a roof now, Pisces. You have protection. The next card that came through is the Four of Cups, and oh, this is telling me so much about how you have experienced these attacks and why you might not have always recognized them for what they were. The Four of Cups shows a figure sitting under a tree, arms crossed, looking at three cups in front of them, while a hand emerges from a cloud offering a fourth cup. The figure seems disinterested, almost melancholic, possibly even rejecting the offered cup. In a traditional reading, this can indicate apathy, discontent, or missing opportunities. But in your reading, Pisces, in the context of spiritual gifts and attacks, this card is revealing something completely different. The Four of Cups is showing me that there have been times when you withdrew, when you pulled your energy back, when you went into hermit mode, not because you wanted to necessarily, but because you felt something was off. You felt unsafe, you felt drained, you felt like something or someone was trying to take from you, and your soul's instinct was to close off, to become unavailable, to retreat. And you know what? That withdrawal was actually a form of protection. The Four of Cups is often interpreted negatively, but in spiritual warfare, knowing when to pull back your energy is a skill. What I am seeing with this card is that your sensitivity, which is part of your spiritual gifts, also meant that you could feel when attacks were happening, even if you did not consciously label them as such. You might have suddenly felt exhausted around certain people. You might have had unexplained anxiety or depression that seemed to come out of nowhere and then lift just as mysteriously. You might have felt compelled to avoid certain places or situations without understanding why. The Four of Cups is telling me that your intuition was working, guiding you to withdraw your energy from situations where it was under attack. Now let us talk about that fourth cup being offered in the card. That cup represents opportunities, yes, but in the context of your reading, I am seeing it represent false opportunities. Things that looked good on the surface but were actually traps. People who came into your life seeming to offer friendship or love, but were actually energy vampires or worse, consciously trying to attach to you energetically. The figure in the Four of Cups looks uninterested in that fourth cup. And you know what, Pisces? Your disinterest in certain people, opportunities, or situations has saved you. Your spiritual gifts gave you discernment, and even when you could not explain it logically, you knew something was wrong with that offered cup. Here is something else the Four of Cups is revealing. It is showing me that you might have gone through periods where you doubted your own gifts or even tried to shut them down. The figure in this card has their arms crossed, which is a defensive posture. There might have been times when the attacks got so intense or the misunderstanding from others was so painful that you tried to make yourself less psychic, less sensitive, less spiritually aware. You might have tried to be normal, to fit in, to not stand out. The Four of Cups can represent a rejection of spiritual offerings, and I am wondering if you went through a phase where you rejected your own abilities because they seem to bring more pain than gift. If that resonates, I need you to understand something. That phase was not a failure. The Four of Cups is part of your protection too. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is close off, especially when you are learning to manage your gifts, and you have not yet learned how to protect yourself from what you are picking up. Think of it like this. If you were an electrical conductor and you did not yet know how to ground yourself, touching live wires would hurt you. So you pulled back. You wrapped yourself in rubber, so to speak. That was wisdom, not weakness. The Four of Cups is also telling me about a specific type of attack you might have experienced, and this is the draining kind. Not dramatic, not obvious, but insidious. People or situations that just slowly siphoned your energy, your joy, your vitality. The figure in this card looks emotionally exhausted, depleted, like they have lost their enthusiasm for life. And I am hearing that there have been periods in your life where you felt exactly like this, where you could not understand why you were so tired all the time, why nothing excited you, why you felt numb. What if I told you that was not depression in the clinical sense, but rather the result of ongoing energetic attack? What if your energy was literally being drained and your body's response was to shut down non-essential functions to protect the core? The Four of Cups in this position is validating that experience for you. It is saying, yes, there were times when you were under spiritual attack and you felt it in your body, your emotions, your mental state. And the way you coped was to withdraw, to become unavailable, to refuse to engage. And that actually worked. By refusing to give your energy, by sitting with your arms crossed like the figure in this card, you cut off the supply to whatever or whoever was trying to feed off you. But here is the beautiful part about the Four of Cups in your reading. That hand is still emerging from the cloud, still offering a cup. Spirit has never stopped offering you opportunities to step into your power, to use your gifts, to claim your spiritual inheritance. The difference now, in this current energy, is that you are starting to understand which cups are real and which ones are traps. You are developing discernment, not just about people and situations, but about your own spiritual path. The Four of Cups is showing me that you are moving out of the withdrawal phase and into a phase of conscious choice. You are learning to say yes to the right spiritual opportunities and no to the wrong ones, not from fear, but from wisdom. Moving into the next card, we have the Hermit and Pisces. This is such a powerful confirmation of everything we have been talking about. The Hermit is card number 10 in the major arcana, and it represents spiritual wisdom, inner guidance, and the light that comes from within. This card shows an old sage standing alone on a mountain peak, holding up a lantern that contains a six-pointed star. The Hermit has withdrawn from the world, not out of fear or antisocial tendencies, but in order to connect with Source, with divine wisdom, with the truth that cannot be found in the noise of everyday life. The Hermit appearing in your reading is telling me several crucial things about your spiritual gifts and the protection you have. First, it is confirming that you are an OLD soul. The Hermit is not a young energy. This is someone who has lived, who has experienced, who has learned hard lessons and gained wisdom from them. Your spiritual gifts, Pisces, they come from lifetimes of development. You are not a beginner on the spiritual path, even if in this lifetime you are just starting to consciously claim your abilities. Your soul knows things, your soul remembers things, and that deep, ancient wisdom is part of what protects you. The Hermit holds a lantern, and that lantern represents the light of truth. This is your protection, Pisces. You carry your own light. You do not need someone else to illuminate the path for you. You do not need external validation to know what is real. The light you carry is self-generated, which means it cannot be extinguished by outside forces. People who have attacked you with negative energy or witchcraft, they were trying to blow out your light. But the Hermit is showing me that your light is internal. It is in a lantern, protected from the wind. It burns from a source that is connected to the divine and that cannot be touched by human manipulation. Here is something profound about the Hermit in relation to spiritual attacks. The Hermit stands on a mountain peak, which means they have elevated their consciousness. They have risen above the drama, the pettiness, the lower vibrational conflicts that happen in the valley below. When people attack you energetically, Pisces, especially those operating from jealousy, ego, or malicious intent, they are operating from the valley. They are down in the density, the heaviness, the lower frequencies. But the Hermit shows me that you have the ability to rise above. Your consciousness, your spiritual awareness, your connection to higher realms, that automatically puts you out of reach of certain types of attacks. It is like they are throwing stones at you, but you are on the mountaintop, and the stones cannot reach that high. The Hermit is also telling me about solitude as protection. There have probably been times in your life where you felt isolated, lonely, like you did not fit in anywhere or with anyone. The Hermit stands alone on that mountain. And while loneliness can be painful, what the Hermit is showing me is that your solitude has actually been sacred. It has been necessary for your spiritual development. In solitude, you could not be influenced by others' opinions, expectations, or energies. In solitude, you developed a direct relationship with the divine without interference. In solitude, you learn to trust your own inner voice instead of looking for external guidance that might lead you astray. And here is something else about the Hermit that relates to the attacks you have experienced. The Hermit carries a staff in their other hand, a staff that touches the ground. That staff represents being grounded in spiritual wisdom. It represents having a foundation, a practice, a discipline. One of the reasons why spiritual attacks have not been able to fully harm you, Pisces, is because you have a spiritual practice, even if it is informal. Maybe you pray, maybe you meditate, maybe you journal, maybe you spend time in nature, maybe you have rituals that ground you and connect you to something larger than yourself. The Hermit is telling me that these practices, whatever they are for you, they are your staff. They keep you balanced. They keep you connected to the earth while you are also connected to the heavens. And that grounding is part of your protection. The Hermit is also revealing something about why you have been attacked. The light the Hermit carries, it reveals things. It illuminates what was hidden. It exposes truth. And Pisces, people who operate in darkness, in deception, in shadow, they hate the light. Not because light is aggressive or attacking, but because light simply by existing reveals what was trying to stay hidden. You do not even have to say anything. You do not have to call anyone out. Your mere presence, with your spiritual gifts active, with your intuition sharp, with your ability to see through illusions, that presence is threatening to people who are hiding something. The Hermit shows me that you have been attacked not because you did anything wrong, but because your light made certain people uncomfortable with their own darkness. I also want to talk about the 6-pointed star inside the Hermit's lantern, because this is significant. That star is the seal of Solomon, a symbol that has been used for protection in many spiritual traditions. It represents the balance of opposing forces, the integration of masculine and feminine, above and below heaven and earth. The Hermit carrying this symbol is telling me that your protection comes from balance. You are not just spiritual, you are also grounded. You are not just intuitive, you also use logic. You are not just open, you also have boundaries. This balance is what makes you difficult to attack effectively. People or energies coming at you from one extreme cannot knock you over because you are centered. The Hermit in your reading is ultimately saying this: your spiritual gifts are not just abilities, they are wisdom. You know things, you see things. And that knowing, that seeing, that wisdom, it protects you. You might not have always understood what was happening when you felt under attack, but your higher self knew, and it guided you to withdraw when necessary, to seek solitude when needed, to go within for answers rather than looking outside. The Hermit is confirming that every time you retreated, every time you pulled back, every time you chose to be alone rather than engage with toxic people or situations, you were actually demonstrating profound spiritual intelligence. The next card is the Ace of Cups and Pisces. This is where the reading shifts into something really beautiful. After talking about attacks, withdrawals, and protection, the Ace of Cups is showing me renewal. The Ace of Cups is one of the most positive cards in the entire deck. It represents new emotional beginnings, divine love, spiritual fulfillment, and the overflowing of blessings. In this card, we see a hand emerging from a cloud, offering a chalice that is overflowing with water, with a dove descending toward it, carrying a communion wafer in its beak. 5 streams of water pour from the cup down into a lily pond below. Everything about this card is abundant, pure, and divinely blessed. The Ace of Cups appearing in your reading is telling me that despite everything you have been through, despite the attacks, despite the times you felt drained and depleted, your spiritual well is being refilled. Actually, more than refilled. It is overflowing. This is divine intervention, Pisces. This is the universe saying, we see what you have endured, we honor your resilience, and we are now pouring blessings into your life that cannot be blocked, stolen, or diminished by any human interference. Here is what is so powerful about the Ace of Cups in the context of spiritual warfare. Water represents emotions, intuition, and psychic ability. The cup represents your capacity to hold and channel spiritual energy. For this cup to be overflowing means that you are about to experience, or are already beginning to experience, a surge in your spiritual abilities. Your intuition is getting stronger. Your ability to receive divine guidance is becoming clearer. Your empathic abilities are becoming more refined and controlled. And this is happening not despite the attacks you have experienced, but in some ways because of them. Every attack that did not break you actually strengthened your spiritual muscles. Every attempt to drain you that you survived taught you how to protect your energy better. The Ace of Cups is the reward for having done the spiritual work. The dove in the Ace of Cups is particularly significant because the dove represents the Holy Spirit, divine presence, peace, and protection. This is the universe's way of telling you that you are under divine protection, Pisces. Not just protection from your own efforts or your own spiritual practices, though those matter, but protection from the highest source. The people who have attacked you with witchcraft or negative energy, they might have been confident in their abilities. They might have thought they had power, but the dove descending into your cup is showing me that they did not account for divine protection. They did not realize they were not just dealing with you. They were dealing with the forces of heaven that have your back. The Ace of Cups is also telling me about purity. The water in this cup is clean, clear, sacred. Despite attempts to poison your energy, to contaminate your spirit, to make you bitter or dark or twisted, you have remained pure in your intentions. You have not become like those who attacked you. You have not retaliated with the same energy. You have not let their darkness infect your light. And the Ace of Cups is the universe acknowledging that purity and rewarding it. You get to drink from the cup of divine blessing because you did not let yourself be contaminated. I am also seeing with the Ace of Cups that new relationships are coming into your life, but these are different from what you have experienced before. The lily pond beneath the cup represents emotions that are peaceful, beautiful, and pure. You are going to start attracting people who match your frequency, people who honor your gifts rather than fear them, people who celebrate your light rather than trying to dim it. The Ace of Cups represents soul connections, and I am seeing that your tribe, your spiritual family, they are finding you, or you are finding them. These are people who will understand you, who will not need you to explain your experiences because they have had similar ones, who will not judge your gifts because they have gifts too. The 5 streams pouring from the cup are also significant. 5 is the number of change, freedom, and versatility. These streams represent the flow of blessings into multiple areas of your life. This is not just about one thing getting better. Your spiritual life is being elevated. Your emotional life is being healed. Your creative expression is being unlocked. Your relationships are being transformed. Your sense of purpose is being clarified. The Ace of Cups is telling me that this is a comprehensive upgrade to your life, all flowing from your spiritual center. Here is something else beautiful about the Ace of Cups in your reading. It is in the Suit of Cups, which is ruled by water, which is the element of Pisces. This card is basically saying, welcome home. Welcome back to your natural element. You have been surviving in environments that were not meant for you, around people who did not understand you, in situations that required you to be someone other than who you truly are. But the Ace of Cups is like being submerged in water after crossing a desert. It is your natural environment. It is where you thrive, and you are returning to it now. The Ace of Cups is also showing me spiritual gifts being activated or enhanced. Aces represent beginnings and potential, the seed of something. The Ace of Cups can indicate the beginning of your journey as a healer, a reader, a channel, a medium, a teacher, or whatever form your spiritual gifts are meant to take in the world. Up until now, you might have been using your gifts primarily for your own protection and survival. But the Ace of Cups is saying it is time to let those gifts overflow from you into the world. There are people who need what you have. There are people who will be blessed by your presence, your words, your energy. The cup is overflowing, which means there is more than enough. You can share your gifts without depleting yourself. And here is the ultimate message of the Ace of Cups in relation to the attacks you have experienced. They failed. Whatever was meant to break you did not. Whatever was meant to steal your gifts could not. Whatever was meant to close you off from divine love and guidance was unsuccessful. The cup is being offered to you from heaven itself, and no human being has the power to intercept that. The Ace of Cups is your confirmation that you are blessed, you are protected, and you are about to enter a season of spiritual abundance that will make all the difficult years make sense. Next, we have the Hanged Man. And this is such an interesting card to appear in this reading because the Hanged Man is all about perspective and sacrifice. The card shows a figure hanging upside down from a tree by 1 foot, but their face is serene, not distressed. Their free leg is bent behind them, creating a figure 4 shape. A halo glows around their head. This is voluntary suspension, not punishment. This is chosen surrender, not forced submission. The Hanged Man in your reading is revealing something profound about how you have survived and actually thrived despite the spiritual attacks. You have learned to see things from a different perspective. When everyone else sees disaster, you see opportunity. When everyone else sees endings, you see transformation. When everyone else sees weakness, you see strength. This inversion of perspective is part of your spiritual gift, Pisces, and it is also part of your protection. Here is what I am seeing with the Hanged Man. The attacks you experienced, the difficult times, the moments when you felt stuck or suspended in uncertainty, those were actually initiations. They were spiritual tests, not punishments. And the way you chose to view them determined the outcome. The Hanged Man is telling me that you made a sacrifice at some point. Maybe you sacrificed relationships that were draining you. Maybe you sacrificed fitting in order to honor your authentic self. Maybe you sacrificed the easy path in order to walk the spiritual one. Maybe you sacrificed your old identity, your old beliefs, your old ways of being in order to become who you were meant to be. And here is what is crucial about the Hanged Man. That sacrifice was voluntary. You were not a victim, even when people were trying to victimize you. You chose to surrender to a higher plan, to trust in divine timing, to wait when action was not appropriate. The Hanged Man hangs from a living tree, which represents the tree of life. Connection to divine wisdom. Even in suspension, even in waiting, even in what looked like helplessness to outsiders, you were connected to Source. That connection sustained you. That connection protected you. The Hanged Man is also showing me that there was a period in your life where you felt stuck, where nothing was moving forward, where you could not make things happen, no matter how hard you tried. And I am hearing that this was actually divine protection. You were being held in suspension because if you had moved forward at that time, you would have walked into something harmful. The universe suspended you, hung you upside down, so to speak, not as punishment, but as protection. You were being kept out of harm's way while certain things played out, while certain people revealed themselves, while certain situations resolved themselves without your involvement. The halo around the Hanged Man's head is showing me enlightenment through surrender. Every time you surrendered control, every time you stopped fighting and started trusting, you gained spiritual wisdom. You gained perspective. You gained vision. The halo represents spiritual illumination, and it is glowing brightly around your head, Pisces. You see things now that you did not see before. You understand things now that used to confuse you. The attacks you experienced, the struggles, the suspensions, they were all teaching you, refining you, illuminating you. The The Hanged Man is also significant in terms of protection from witchcraft or spiritual attacks because this card represents willingness to sacrifice the ego. Most spiritual attacks work by triggering the ego, by making you react from fear or anger or vengeance. But the Hanged Man has surrendered ego. When you are not operating from ego, when you have given that over to a higher power, there is nothing for the attack to grab onto. It is like trying to punch water. The blow just passes through without causing damage. Your ability to surrender, to not take things personally, to see the bigger picture, that has been a huge part of your spiritual protection. I am also seeing with the Hanged Man that time has been on your side. The number 12 is the number of the Hanged Man, and 12 represents completion of a cycle, cosmic order, divine timing. The people who attacked you wanted immediate results. They wanted to see you destroyed quickly. But the Hanged Man operates on divine time, not human time. And over time, what has happened? You have healed, you have grown, you have developed your gifts, you have gained wisdom. Meanwhile, what about those who attacked you? The Hanged Man in your spread suggests that their situation has become inverted. They thought they had the power position, but time has revealed the truth. They are the ones who are actually stuck. They are the ones in suspension. They are the ones unable to move forward because karma has caught up with them. The Hanged Man is ultimately telling you, Pisces, that your ability to pause, to wait, to surrender, to divine timing rather than forcing outcomes. This has been one of your greatest spiritual gifts and one of your most powerful protections. You have learned to hang in the space between what was and what will be, trusting that you are held, trusting that this suspension is purposeful, trusting that the perspective you are gaining is worth the temporary discomfort of not having your feet on solid ground. Moving forward, we have the Chariot and Pisces after the Hanged Man's pause and surrender. The Chariot is all about movement and victory. This is such a powerful shift in energy. The Chariot shows a warrior figure standing in a chariot pulled by two sphinxes, one black and one white. The warrior wears armor and a crown, holding a wand or scepter. Above is a canopy of stars. The chariot is not moving yet in the image, but it is poised for movement, ready to charge forward. The Chariot appearing in your reading is telling me that the period of suspension is over. The waiting is complete. You are about to experience, or are already beginning to experience, significant forward movement in your life. And this movement is not tentative or uncertain. The Chariot represents decisive action, willpower, determination, and victory. After everything you have been through, after all the attacks and all the challenges, you are about to win, you are about to triumph. You are about to show everyone who doubted you what you are truly capable of. Here is what is powerful about the Chariot in the context of spiritual protection. The warrior in this card is wearing armor. You have developed spiritual armor, Pisces. The attacks you survived taught you how to protect yourself. You have learned to shield your energy. You have learned to set boundaries. You have learned to identify threats before they get close. You have learned techniques for clearing negative energy. This armor is permanent now. It is part of who you are. And as you move forward in your life, that armor goes with you. The Chariot is pulled by two sphinxes, one black and one white, representing opposing forces or dualities. This is showing me that you have learned to harness opposing energies and use them to move you forward. Light and dark, strength and vulnerability, action and surrender, logic and intuition. You do not reject one side or the other. You have learned to integrate them, to use them both, to let them pull you forward in harmony. This is mastery, Pisces. This is not beginner-level spirituality. This is advanced spiritual development. The sphinxes in the Chariot are also significant because sphinxes are guardians. They protect sacred knowledge, they ask riddles, and only those who answer correctly can pass. The fact that you are driving the Chariot pulled by sphinxes is telling me that you have access to sacred knowledge, to mysteries, to information that is guarded and protected. Your spiritual gifts give you access to realms and information that not everyone can reach. And those sphinxes, those guardians, they obey you. They respond to your will. This is showing me that you have authority in the spiritual realm. You have command. When you speak, declare, or intend something spiritually, it happens. The Chariot is also about willpower and determination. The attacks you experienced were meant to break your will, to make you give up, to make you doubt yourself. But the Chariot is showing me that your will is intact. Actually, it is stronger than ever. You have been through the fire and you have come out forged like steel. Your determination is unshakable now. Your commitment to your spiritual path is unwavering, and that strength of will is a formidable protection. People or energies that want to attack you have to contend with your willpower, and that is not easy to overcome. The canopy of stars above the Chariot represents cosmic protection and divine favor. You are not just moving forward on your own power. You have the blessings of the universe supporting you. The stars are aligned in your favor. The cosmos itself is conspiring to help you succeed. Every attack that failed against you was because the universe intervened. Every time you should have fallen but you did not, that was cosmic protection. And the Chariot is confirming that this protection continues as you move into this new phase of your life. I am also seeing with the Chariot that you are about to experience victory over those who attacked you. Not because you are seeking revenge, not because you are lowering yourself to their level, but because karma is real and justice is real. The Chariot represents triumph in battle, and you have been in a spiritual battle whether you wanted to be or not. The Chariot is telling me that you win. Your light wins over their darkness. Your truth wins over their lies. Your spiritual power, grounded in love and divine connection, wins over their manipulation and malice. The Chariot is also showing me movement in the physical world. After a period of feeling stuck or limited, things are about to start happening for you. Opportunities will present themselves. Doors will open. Resources will become available. People who can help you will appear. Your career, your finances, your living situation, your relationships, whatever areas of your life felt blocked, the Chariot brings breakthrough. And this breakthrough is possible because you are now spiritually protected enough to handle success without it being taken from you or sabotaged. The Chariot is ultimately telling you this, Pisces. You have been training, preparing, developing your spiritual gifts, and learning to protect yourself. That training is complete. You are ready. And now it is time to move forward with confidence, with power, with divine support, and with the absolute knowledge that you are protected as you go. The next card is the Nine of Pentacles, and Pisces. This is such a beautiful confirmation of where you are headed. The Nine of Pentacles shows an elegant figure standing in a lush garden, wearing luxurious robes, with a hooded falcon perched on their hand. Grapevines heavy with fruit surround them. Pentacle coins are scattered throughout the garden. Everything about this card speaks of abundance, self-sufficiency, and refinement. The Nine of Pentacles appearing in your reading is telling me that you are entering or about to enter a phase of prosperity that you have earned through your spiritual development. This is not lottery win abundance. This is cultivated abundance. The garden in the Nine of Pentacles did not grow overnight. It was planted, tended, and nurtured over time. The same is true for you, Pisces. You have been planting seeds through your spiritual practices, through your commitment to growth, through your refusal to let attacks diminish you. And now those seeds are becoming a harvest. Here is what is significant about the Nine of Pentacles in the context of spiritual protection. The figure in this card stands alone in their garden. They are not dependent on anyone else for their security, their wealth, or their happiness. They have created this abundance through their own efforts. This is showing me that you are becoming self-sufficient in your spiritual protection. You do not need to rely on others to clear your energy or protect you from attacks. You have learned to do this yourself. You have developed your own practices, your own techniques, your own relationship with the divine that sustains and protects you. The falcon on the figure's hand is particularly significant because falcons are trained birds of prey. They represent mastery over instincts, the ability to harness powerful forces and direct them with precision. In your case, Pisces, this represents your mastery over your spiritual gifts, your psychic abilities, your intuition, your empathic sensitivity. These are powerful forces. If left untrained, they could overwhelm you or be used against you. But the Nine of Pentacles is showing me that you have trained your gifts. You have learned to use them when you want to and shield them when you need to. You have learned to direct your spiritual power with precision and control. The Nine of Pentacles is also about enjoying the fruits of your labor. The grapevines are heavy with fruit, ready to be harvested and enjoyed. After all you have been through, after all the struggles and attacks and difficult periods, you are entering a time of enjoyment. You get to experience the benefits of your spiritual development. You get to live in the peace that comes from being protected. You get to experience the joy that comes from using your gifts in ways that fulfill you. The Nine of Pentacles is telling me that you deserve this, and it is finally yours. I am also seeing with the Nine of Pentacles that material abundance is connected to your spiritual gifts. As you step more fully into your spiritual power, as you become more confident in using your gifts, there will be financial rewards as well. Maybe you will monetize your spiritual abilities directly through readings, healing, teaching, or coaching. Maybe your spiritual development will lead you to career opportunities that are lucrative. Maybe your increased confidence and clarity will help you make better financial decisions. However it manifests, the Nine of Pentacles is clear that prosperity is part of your spiritual journey now. The luxury and refinement in the Nine of Pentacles also represents your elevated consciousness. You have refined your energy, you have cultivated discernment, you have developed taste in the spiritual sense, meaning you can distinguish between high-quality spiritual information and trash, between genuine spiritual teachers and charlatans, between real divine guidance and ego delusion. This refinement protects you from being misled or manipulated in the spiritual realm. The Nine of Pentacles is also showing me independence as protection. The figure in this card does not need anyone else. They are complete unto themselves. This is not cold isolation. This is empowered solitude. You have reached a point, Pisces, where you are not dependent on others for your sense of self-worth, for validation of your gifts, or for your spiritual connection. This independence makes you less vulnerable to manipulation or control. People who might have tried to use your need for approval or connection against you will find that those hooks no longer work. You are complete in yourself. The garden in the Nine of Pentacles is also walled or fenced, which represents boundaries. You have learned to create boundaries around your energy, your time, your space, and your gifts. You do not let just anyone into your garden anymore. You do not share your energy freely with people who have not earned your trust. You do not cast your pearls before swine, so to speak. This discernment, these boundaries, they are part of your protection and part of your prosperity. The Nine of Pentacles is ultimately telling you that you are entering a golden period of your life, Pisces, a period where your spiritual gifts are fully developed and under your control, a period where you are protected by your own mastery and by divine support, a period where you get to enjoy the fruits of all your hard work, a period of abundance, peace, prosperity, and refinement. You have earned this, and it is time to receive it. Next, we have the High Priestess and Pisces. This is one of the most powerful cards that could appear in your reading. The High Priestess is card number 3 in the Major Arcana, and she represents mystery, intuition, hidden knowledge, and the divine feminine. She sits between two pillars, one black and one white, with a veil of pomegranates behind her. The moon is at her feet, and she holds a scroll labeled Torah, representing divine law and hidden wisdom. The High Priestess appearing in your reading is essentially saying, you are her. You embody this energy. You are the High Priestess. This card represents someone who has access to the mysteries, to the hidden realms, to knowledge that is not available to everyone. And Pisces, this is you. Your spiritual gifts are not surface-level parlor tricks. You have access to deep wisdom, to ancient knowledge, to the collective unconscious, to the Akashic records, whatever you want to call that vast repository of spiritual information. You can access it. Here is what is crucial about the High Priestess in the context of spiritual attacks and protection. The High Priestess is guarded. She sits between two pillars, Boaz and Jachin, representing duality and balance. She is the guardian of the threshold between the physical and spiritual realms. She decides who passes through the veil and who does not. This is showing me that you are guarded, Pisces. You are not an open door that anyone can walk through. You are a gatekeeper of your own energy and your own spiritual space. And you have guardians, both physical and spiritual, that protect you. The veil behind the high priestess conceals mysteries. Not everyone gets to see what is behind that veil. Not everyone gets access to the deeper levels of spiritual knowledge, and this is part of your protection. There are parts of your spiritual self, parts of your gifts, parts of your knowledge that you do not share with just anyone. You keep your mysteries veiled. You do not reveal everything about yourself or your abilities. This secrecy, this hiddenness, this mystery, it protects you from those who would try to exploit, steal, or corrupt your gifts. The high priestess holds a scroll representing sacred knowledge. This is showing me that you are a keeper of wisdom. You have information, insights, and understanding that others do not have. And here is something important about this. The people who have attacked you, they wanted access to this. They sensed that you had something they did not, knowledge or power or connection that they lacked. And when you would not give them access, when you kept your mysteries veiled, when you would not teach them your secrets or share your gifts freely, they became angry, they became resentful, and they attacked. But the high priestess is telling me that you were right to guard your knowledge. Pearls before swine, sacred knowledge in profane hands. You protected the mysteries by not revealing them to those who would misuse them. The moon at the high priestess's feet is significant because the moon represents cycles, intuition, and hidden influences. You understand cycles, Pisces. You understand that everything has a season. You understand that what is hidden in darkness will be revealed in light. You understand that attacks have cycles too, and that they pass. The moon at your feet means you have mastery over these cycles. You are not controlled by them. You work with them. You know when to be visible and when to withdraw into shadow. You know when to speak and when to be silent. This timing is part of your spiritual sophistication and part of your protection. The high priestess also represents inner knowing. You do not need external validation for what you know to be true. You do not need someone else to confirm your intuitive hits. You do not need proof to trust your gut. The high priestess knows, and so do you. This inner knowing has protected you countless times. When something felt off, even when you could not explain why, you knew. When someone seemed dangerous, even when they appeared harmless, you knew. When a situation was wrong for you, even when everyone else thought you should pursue it, you knew. That inner knowing, that intuitive certainty that has saved you more times than you can count. The high priestess sits in a position of stillness and receptivity. She is not active in the outward sense. She does not chase or force or manipulate. She receives information from the spiritual realm. She listens to divine guidance. She waits for the right timing. This receptivity is power, Pisces. In a world that values aggressive action, the high priestess shows that stillness and receptivity can be just as powerful, if not more so. Your ability to receive divine guidance, to listen to your intuition, to wait for clarity, these are spiritual gifts that have guided you through every attack and every challenge. The high priestess is also telling me that you have priestess energy, which means you are a bridge between worlds. You can move between the physical and the spiritual with ease. You can access information from both realms. You can bring spiritual wisdom into physical form through your words, your actions, your presence. This is a rare gift, Pisces. Not everyone can do this, and it is part of why you have been targeted. Bridges are valuable. People want to cross them, but you are not a public bridge. You are a sacred bridge, and you only allow those who are worthy to cross. The high priestess ultimately represents the divine feminine, the energy of intuition, mystery, and hidden power. In a world that often values masculine energy of action, aggression, and visibility, the high priestess reminds us that feminine energy of receptivity, intuition, and hiddenness is equally powerful. You embody this energy, Pisces. Your power is not loud or obvious, but it is deep and real. And those who have tried to attack you have discovered that hidden power is often more formidable than visible power because you cannot fight what you cannot see. The next card is the Knight of Wands, and this is such an interesting shift in energy. After the High Priestess's stillness and mystery, the Knight of Wands is all about movement, passion, and bold action. The Knight of Wands shows a knight in armor on a rearing horse, holding a wand like a staff or weapon. The horse is mid-leap, full of energy and enthusiasm. The knight's armor is decorated with salamanders, symbols of transformation through fire. The Knight of Wands appearing in your reading is telling me that there is a new energy coming into your life, or an energy within you that is about to express itself in a new way. After all the introspection, the withdrawal, the patience, the waiting, the Knight of Wands is ready to charge forward. This is adventurous energy. This is confident energy. This is I know who I am, and I am not afraid to show it energy. In the context of spiritual gifts and protection, the Knight of Wands is showing me that you are about to become more visible with your gifts. The High Priestess keeps mysteries hidden. But the Knight of Wands is not about hiding. This is about demonstration. This is about showing what you can do. This is about using your gifts boldly and publicly. Maybe you have been keeping your spiritual abilities private, only using them for yourself or close friends. The Knight of Wands is suggesting that you are ready or about to be ready to go public, to offer readings, to teach, to share your wisdom with a wider audience. The Knight of Wands represents courage, and Pisces, it takes courage to be visible with spiritual gifts, especially when you have been attacked for having them. But the Knight of Wands is fearless. This energy is saying, I have been tested, I have been through fire, represented by those salamanders, and I am still standing. In fact, I am stronger. Let them come. Let them see what I can do. Let them try to stop me. They will not succeed. The Knight of Wands on a rearing horse represents momentum. Once this energy gets moving, it is hard to stop. Things are about to happen quickly for you, Pisces. After a long period of slow growth or no visible progress, suddenly everything starts accelerating. Opportunities will come fast. Decisions will need to be made quickly. Your spiritual gifts will be in demand. The Knight of Wands brings a whirlwind of activity, but it is exciting activity, not draining activity. I am also seeing with the Knight of Wands that there is a warrior energy here, and this relates directly to the spiritual warfare you have experienced. The Knight is wearing armor, just like the Chariot, but the Knight of Wands specifically represents someone who is not afraid to fight when necessary. Not fight from ego or aggression, but fight to defend what is sacred, to protect what is vulnerable, to stand up against injustice. The Knight of Wands is telling me that you are done being passive about attacks. You are done just shielding and hiding. If someone comes at you now, you are prepared to respond, to set boundaries firmly, to call out darkness when you see it, to defend yourself and others with your spiritual power. The wand the Knight holds is a symbol of creative power and spiritual will. You have the ability to create your reality, Pisces. You have the ability to manifest what you desire. The Knight of Wands is telling me that you are about to step into your power as a conscious creator. You are going to start using your spiritual gifts not just for protection, but for manifestation. You are going to start creating the life you want, attracting the opportunities you desire, calling in the relationships that serve you, and you are going to do this with confidence and speed. The Knight of Wands also represents passion, and this is showing me that you are rediscovering your passion for life, for your spiritual path, for your gifts. Maybe the attacks and challenges made you weary. Maybe you lost your enthusiasm. Maybe you started to see your gifts as a burden rather than a blessing. The Knight of Wands is the return of that passion. You are remembering why you are on this path. You are remembering what you love about your spiritual gifts. You are feeling that fire of enthusiasm burning again. The salamanders on the Knight's armor are significant because salamanders were believed to be creatures that could live in fire without being burned. This is you, Pisces. You have been through fire, the fire of attacks, the fire of spiritual warfare, the fire of transformation and initiation. And you have not been burned. You have not been destroyed. In fact, like the phoenix, like the salamander, you have been transformed by the fire. You have become more than you were before. Stronger, wiser, more powerful. The Knight of Wands is ultimately telling you that it is time to move forward with boldness, confidence, and passion. It is time to stop hiding your gifts. It is time to stop playing small. It is time to stop being afraid of being visible. You are protected, you are powerful, and you have a mission. The Knight of Wands is the energy that will carry you into this next phase of your journey, charging forward with enthusiasm and courage. Moving toward the end of your reading, we have the Ace of Swords and Pisces. This is the card of truth, clarity, and breakthrough. The Ace of Swords shows a hand emerging from a cloud, holding a sword upright. The sword is crowned with a laurel wreath, symbolizing victory. Mountains are visible in the distance. Everything about this card is about cutting through illusion to reach truth. The Ace of Swords appearing in your reading is powerful confirmation that you are experiencing or about to experience a major breakthrough in understanding. All the confusion, all the questions, all the wondering why and how and who, all of that is about to become clear. The Ace of Swords is the sword of truth, and truth is being revealed to you now. Truth about who you are, truth about your gifts, truth about what happened to you, truth about who was responsible for attacks, truth about who your real friends are, truth about your purpose and your path. Here is what is significant about the Ace of Swords in the context of spiritual protection. This sword represents mental clarity and discernment. One of the ways people attack others spiritually is through confusion. They gaslight, they manipulate, they make you doubt your own perceptions, they make you question your sanity. They create so much confusion that you cannot see what is actually happening. But the Ace of Swords cuts through all of that. This card is divine intervention at the mental level, clearing away the fog, dispelling the confusion, revealing what is real. The Ace of Swords is also a card of justice. That laurel wreath on the sword represents victory and achievement, but it also represents justice being served. The truth will out, as they say. And the Ace of Swords is confirming that truth is coming to light. Those who attacked you, those who lied about you, those who tried to manipulate you, they cannot hide forever. The truth will be revealed. Justice will be served, not because you are seeking revenge, but because truth has its own power and justice is a universal law. The sword in this card is upright, pointing to the sky. This represents divine intervention. This is not just you figuring things out on your own. This is the universe, the divine, your higher self, delivering truth directly to you. Revelations are coming, downloads of information are happening. Suddenly things that never made sense are making perfect sense. Suddenly you are seeing patterns you never noticed before. Suddenly you understand at a deep level what has been happening in your life and why. The Ace of Swords also represents new ideas and new perspectives. Your spiritual gifts include mental abilities, not just emotional or intuitive ones. You have the ability to understand complex spiritual concepts. You have the ability to articulate spiritual truths in ways others can understand. You have the ability to teach, to explain, to make the mysterious accessible. The Ace of Swords is activating or enhancing these mental and communicative aspects of your spiritual gifts. I am also seeing with the Ace of Swords that you are being given a weapon. Not a physical weapon, but the weapon of truth. The ability to speak truth clearly and powerfully. The ability to cut through deception with your words. The ability to defend yourself verbally and mentally against attacks. The sword is sharp, which means your mind is sharp. Your perception is sharp. Your ability to see through BS is sharp. And this sharpness protects you. People cannot manipulate you if you see right through them. People cannot deceive you if you perceive truth clearly. The mountains in the background of the Ace of Swords represent challenges that have been overcome. Mountains also represent spiritual attainment, reaching higher consciousness. You have climbed mountains, Pisces. You have overcome challenges that would have defeated others. And now, from your vantage point on the mountaintop, you can see clearly. You have perspective, you have understanding, you have wisdom. The Ace of Swords is the reward for that climb, the clarity that comes from having elevated your consciousness. The Ace of Swords is ultimately telling you that truth is your protection. When you know the truth, when you see clearly, when you understand what is really happening, you cannot be manipulated or deceived. The Ace of Swords is giving you the gift of clarity, and that clarity is more powerful than any protective amulet or spell. Truth is the ultimate protection because lies cannot stand in the presence of truth. Darkness cannot remain in the presence of light. Confusion cannot exist in the presence of clarity. Finally, we have the Ace of Wands and Pisces. This is such a powerful and positive card to end your reading with. The Ace of Wands shows a hand emerging from a cloud, holding a living wand or staff. The wand is sprouting leaves, indicating new growth. A landscape with mountains, a castle, and a river stretches out below. Everything about this card says new beginnings, inspiration, and creative potential. The Ace of Wands is the spark of divine fire. It is the moment of inspiration. It is the beginning of a new creative or spiritual project. It is enthusiasm and motivation and excitement about what is to come. After everything you have been through, after all the challenges and attacks and difficult times, the Ace of Wands is telling you that a brand new chapter is beginning. And this chapter is exciting. This chapter is full of potential. This chapter is yours to create however you want. Here is what is powerful about the Ace of Wands in the context of your spiritual journey and your gifts. Wands represent fire, passion, creativity, and spiritual will. The Ace of Wands is telling me that your spiritual fire, which may have been dimmed or dampened by attacks, is being reignited. Actually, more than reignited. This is a brand new fire, burning brighter and hotter than ever before. You are feeling inspired again. You are feeling motivated again. You are feeling alive again. The Ace of Wands also represents a creative project or a new venture. I am seeing that you are about to begin something new related to your spiritual gifts. Maybe you are going to start offering readings professionally. Maybe you are going to start a spiritual blog or YouTube channel. Maybe you are going to write a book about your experiences. Maybe you are going to start teaching or leading workshops. Maybe you are going to create art or music inspired by your spiritual journey. Whatever it is, the Ace of Wands says it is time to birth this creation into the world. The fact that the wand is sprouting leaves is significant. This is not a dead stick. This is alive. This is growing. This new beginning has life force. It has its own energy. It will grow organically, naturally, powerfully. You do not have to force it. You just have to plant the seed and tend it, and it will grow of its own accord because it has divine life flowing through it. The Ace of Wands is also about taking action. Aces are potentials, but wands are the suit of action. This is not just about dreaming or planning or thinking about what you might do someday. The Ace of Wands is saying, do it now. Take that first step. Make that phone call. Send that email. Start that project. The energy is right for action, and the time is now. In terms of spiritual protection, the Ace of Wands is showing me that your creative expression is part of your protection. When you are actively using your gifts, when you are creating, when you are sharing your light with the world, you are in flow. And when you are in flow, you are connected to divine source, and that connection protects you. Attacks have a harder time landing on someone who is actively creating and expressing, because creation is a higher frequency than destruction. Light is a higher frequency than darkness. The Ace of Wands also represents new opportunities coming your way. Doors are opening. Possibilities are presenting themselves. People who can help you are appearing. Resources are becoming available. The Ace of Wands brings a flood of potential, and it is up to you to recognize these opportunities and take advantage of them. Your spiritual gifts are going to open doors for you that would otherwise remain closed. Your abilities are going to create opportunities that would not exist for someone without your gifts. The landscape in the Ace of Wands with the castle and the river represents the world opening up to you. You are not limited anymore. You are not confined. The castle represents potential, your spiritual kingdom that you can build. The river represents flow, abundance, and emotional fulfillment flowing to you. The mountains represent challenges, but they are in the distance, already overcome or manageable. Everything is possible now. The Ace of Wands is ultimately telling you this, Pisces. You have not just survived spiritual warfare. You have won. You have emerged victorious. You have claimed your power. You understand your gifts. You know how to protect yourself. And now is when you get to thrive. Now is when you get to create the life you have always wanted. Now is when you get to use your gifts in ways that fulfill you and help others. Now is when you get to shine without fear, without holding back, without worrying about attacks, because you are protected and you are powerful and you are ready. The Ace of Wands is your green light, Pisces. It is the universe saying go. It is divine permission to be all that you are meant to be. It is the spark that lights the bonfire of your new life. So let me bring this all together for you, Pisces. This reading has revealed so much about your spiritual journey, your gifts, the attacks you have experienced, and the protection you have. We pulled 10 cards, and let me recap what they told us. 3 of Pentacles showed us that your spiritual gifts are real, developed, and part of lifetimes of work. You are not a beginner. You are a master craftsman in the spiritual realm, and this mastery protects you. 4 of Cups revealed that your sensitivity allowed you to feel when attacks were happening, and your withdrawal was actually a protective instinct. You knew when to pull back your energy. The Hermit confirmed that you are an old soul with deep wisdom, carrying your own inner light that cannot be extinguished. Your solitude has been sacred. Your elevation above the drama has protected you. Ace of Cups brought the message of renewal, divine blessing, and spiritual gifts overflowing. You are entering a time of abundance after having survived attempts to drain you. The Hanged Man showed that your ability to surrender, to see from different perspectives, and to trust divine timing has been crucial to your survival and ultimate victory. The Chariot revealed that you have developed spiritual armor, you have mastered opposing forces, and you are now ready to move forward with willpower and cosmic support toward victory. 9 of Pentacles promised prosperity, self-sufficiency, and the fruits of your spiritual labor. You have earned this golden period through your dedication and resilience. The High Priestess confirmed that you are a keeper of mysteries, a guardian of sacred knowledge, a bridge between worlds with intuitive power that has protected you through every challenge. Knight of Wands brought bold, passionate energy, telling you it is time to be visible with your gifts, to charge forward with courage, to use your spiritual power actively and confidently. Ace of Swords delivered clarity and truth, cutting through confusion and promising that justice will be served as truth comes to light. And finally, Ace of Wands ignited a new beginning, full of creative potential, inspiration, and opportunity to build the life you want using your gifts. Pisces, this reading is confirmation. You have spiritual gifts. They have been noticed. You have been under attack, whether through jealousy, fear, or intentional spiritual warfare. But you have also been protected by your own spiritual development, by divine intervention, by your guides and ancestors. And not only have you survived, you are about to thrive. Those who feared your light, those who attacked you, they have actually failed. They wanted to break you, but they strengthened you instead. They wanted to steal your gifts, but you learned to protect them better. They wanted to stop you, but they only delayed you. And that delay was actually divine timing working in your favor. You are protected, Pisces, by your own mastery, by divine forces, by the universe itself. And you are powerful in ways that those who attacked you never fully understood. Your protection comes from being connected to Source, from walking in truth, from operating from love instead of fear. That is protection that cannot be broken by any human manipulation. So step forward boldly, Pisces. Use your gifts. Share your light. Create your new life. The time of hiding is over. The time of waiting is complete. This is your time to shine, and you are protected as you do.